this plays out here.
Yeah, as we see one team readying up. Oh, I believe they're off. Yes, and we've started with our week one fixture of BFF against Rocket. Oh, admirable crashes instantly. So I guess that's going to be a restart.
There we go.
Rest in potato, as Stark says.
Yeah, R.I.P. We've even made John giggle here on the cast a little bit. So looks like we're going to have a mulligan on the start of this, or who knows?
Yeah, it seems like they're just going to restart, and we're going to be even further delayed. But
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, you kind of need Admirable for the beginning of the game. It really helps to have those heals on the rollout.
You know, it's so interesting to me. We'll see how the actual mid rolls out when we get a little restart here. It's so interesting to me, though, that I guess just the way that the meta evolved on this Granary map, it's typically such a big soldier map on the rollout. And the soldiers strong arm it. We got John there in the background with a little bit of the wind tunnel sound. You know, through the years, it's been so strong. You know, if you have great soldiers, a great roamer can come in and do a lot of damage. But now with these strong demos like Hades, I mean, is it a demo map now when it comes to the initial mid rollout? Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's never really been recognized as a demo map, and I really still don't think that it is. I think maybe it was the fact that Cadis outclassed the 425 demo man so much that he was able to get that kind of grasp on the middle initially in their PCW today. But it is traditionally a soldier map, and to be honest, I think Zebasai, from the way that he was performing, really showed that as well. And I expect to see some huge plays from Zebasai, but also from QNX. I mean, that guy's incredible. And playing Roma for Rocket, he's just going to be bringing out some huge bombs. I can feel it. So with Hox and QNX, they're two big names, and we've also got them playing against Zebasai and Knutson. Knutson played for Dota last season, where he was given a hard time by some. They didn't really didn't rate his soldier play, but he seems to be playing a little bit better, surrounded by the BFF players. Oh, as we go live again, and hopefully Admirable won't crash this time.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Let's take this away.
Yes, and I'm going to be watching Cadis the mid as he. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, I'm watching War actually as he comes in. I thought that I was watching the red team there. War's actually quicker to mid than Cadis this time and gets an early sticky on him, and Cadis is forced to play quite passive down the left-hand side. Looks like they're going to be pushing left straight into the combo as Admirable kind of isn't linked up with anybody and isn't dishing out heals at all. But the Cookie going huge on the right-hand side there, picking up the frags left, right and centre, and it looks like Rocket have taken this mid very strongly. Cadis surely going to go down here on 8 HP, but manages to pick up QNX as well. Really nice play from Cadis there at the end, and
so
Marilyn escapes with Stark.
We got big, we're talking all about Cadis, and out comes War and basically dominates that mid. Now we still have Uber v Uber, but maybe a bit of a surprise. We just spent 20 minutes talking about Cadis. Neither Uber popped here yet. Mirlin just sort of holding back in yard a little bit. They're obviously looking last right now. Clockwork down again, hasn't been able to stay up, so he has not really been a difference maker as of yet, but we'll keep an eye on him. Holding on pipe right now is Mirlin.
Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't expecting that from Rocket. Cookie coming out huge, going out the top, and really worked with the space that War gave him. War incredibly quick to mid. I imagine that was more to do with Cadis not quite hitting his rollout than War really hitting it well, but even so, you know, you can't take it away from Rocket. That was an excellent mid from them.
It's very rare that we experience that we're talking about Cadis slow to mid, but you say nobody's perfect. Clockwork now still on Scout. I don't think we have any off-class. We have the Ubers popped here now on pipe up high. Clockwork taking out Starkey there.
Yeah, Stark actually gets the sniper shot onto Cookie.
Or sorry, yeah, Cookie going down. We've got 4 down now. This is going to be a full wipe for Team Rocket.
Yeah, the Rocket team there decided to push 2 scouts in Uber through top. But unfortunately, they just got destroyed, and you can't really do that kind of push without an Uber advantage, and it was equal Uber. So I'm not really sure what was going through their heads there, as they managed to push back in and pick up quite a few players from the BFF squad. But they're still going to have to hold their mid here.
Cadis is trapping up Garage right now, and Cadis was a big part of that. He kind of strong-armed right yard, went down to 60 HP, but he's still alive and waiting for his team to come back out. Got Uber's just about even. Cadis taking a lot of damage. Almost feel like this Rocket team is just targeting mostly Cadis so far. We'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, he's one of the big names on the team, and if you know that he's going to put out a lot of damage unless you put that kind of pressure on him. So I expect to see Cadis being focused really quite hard, especially on Gully Wash. Maybe not so much on this map because it's quite a soldier-heavy map, but... Oh, they're taking it in. Left side here, BFF. They're trying to strong-arm both their soldiers through the choke, but they managed to block it away. QNX there with a bit of nice soldier spam onto the choke.
War is just waiting for someone to walk through his trap. He was actually just taunting a second ago as he waits for this. I think we have both demos now just sort of sitting doing this same thing. War is just dying for someone to walk through his trap. I don't know if it's going to happen. Backing up now. And I saw Admirable was actually holding up on crates for a moment. Holding up with both of his scouts on crates here at mid.
Yeah, he seems to be playing quite a passive role. The entirety of the Rocket team just really not looking like they want to push, just waiting for some kind of push in and failure from BFF as they come in now from the left side
here,
again.
Yep. Here we go. QNX sort of forced out a little bit, going to get up high now. I think maybe BFF going to think better of it, backing out now as the soldier. And they're going to cycle around.
Yeah. And surely this must cue BFF to, Rocket to push. As they look like they're trying to edge their way in here from ramp room, get a bit of spam down in yard, and maybe use this Knudsen pick.
Yeah, Hawks is getting right up in their face now, and he's going to run into a big pile right here. He comes right in on the demo. Hawks at 10 HP goes down. And Admirable is still sitting on this Uber, but now he's looking... Oh, and he loses his demo too. That's War going down. So Admirable got to back up right now, and I think they're going to sieve this mid easily. Or they're going to pop. Admirable's going to pop in. He's only got his scouts up now. And he might be in no man's land very soon if he doesn't back out.
They've made a real mess of this Uber of Rocket, and they're just going to get destroyed and pushed all the way back to yard.
Down goes Admirable.
If BFF keep pushing this, they might even be able to get second and possibly last if they manage to kill War here. They should really be getting as aggressive as possible.
I think you nailed that. That was a big mess. Admirable came in, he lost both the soldiers, and he tried to grab War, lost War, and I think at that point you've got to just get out. You've got to just forget about it.
Yeah, definitely. I think they made a mistake trying to hold yard there as well. They should have been running backwards as fast as they possibly could. As you see BFF pushing the right side here into last. And they've still got QNX and War down. They've got no stickies on the point. They're just trying to get frags here. But it actually seems like they're going to be able to hold it here, Rocket.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. Starkey has been doing fantastic on the side of BFF Scout as he picks up... As Clockwork actually just picked out War. I don't know if they have the picks that they need right now. Clockwork comes right out. He's back in through window. The Scout's been playing really aggressive on BFF so far. Starkey's down now, but Clockwork comes in and he's cleaning up. Gets the Uber now. Bit of a flash, and this might be last point here. BFF picks it out with only War left up. So we've got 1-0 BFF. Maybe not a super fast round, but they take the first one.
Yeah, and they really managed to hold their last really well, push out from last really well, and then have a nice little mid-exchange, which they then rolled all the way to Rocket's last. And it'll be interesting to see this next mid-fight. We'll see if Cadis can do any better on this mid.
I'm watching Cadis. He rolled out left. He's forgetting about crates right now. I think he's just worried about speed, and he's maybe kind of turning the tables now on War as he puts damage out and blocks down the cat.
So much damage on War. War down to 26 HP there as he takes 2 stickies from Cadis' quick rollout.
So with Cats shut down now, I think and down goes War and Cookie down as well. And so again on this mid, I shouldn't say again, but we have now, 2 players left up, and that's going to be it for Rocket. It was a good job by Cadis, and actually he did what he had to do that time. He shut down that upper route by Cat, and there was nowhere for Rocket to come out. And so moving into second now. Both teams about to get Uber. We're going to see now. So on that the last round, the first mid was taken by War owning it, but looks like Cadis now. He's just jumping at the bit, looking to come into last. We've got a jump into last already. Zipicai's down for BFF, and down goes Maryland.
And a drop from Maryland to a direct pipe, I think that was from War.
Oh boy, and so that's a Uber dropped. First Uber drop of the evening, but we've got Cadis sitting on this sticky trap. Cadis wants it, but I think War knew it was there. and not going to get anything on the stick
Admirable
trap.
very weak here as he tries to push out. They're going to use the Uber anyway, even with their two-player disadvantage, and they've got to push this really hard. But unfortunately, they're not going to take anything.
Cadis is still upstairs. Cadis is going to rain hell down. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm dropping bad words, you know? Sorry, kids. But Cadis was in a position there to do something great, but he came down and it went down. The rest of his team now is standing on second, but they don't have their demo, who's up in 3 seconds. They do have an Uber advantage, though, and I'm wondering Zeb is looking to just come in with it. But here we go. We've got Rocket come in, and they lose War right away. In come the scouts. Cookie goes down.
They've lost Miralin as well, and
oh, no.
Zebasai really trying to make something happen on last here without any heals. He goes in onto Admirable, and Admirable manages to surf away with 22 health. Cadis is the only person left alive as the rest get a forward spawn, and they've got the heals here that they might be able to block with.
Look at Cadis again. Cadis is doing this thing where he just sits up top. He goes down there. He's just kind of lurking behind and looking to pick out some cheap little kills, but it's not working well so far. So Cadis down again, and wow, Ad's about to get his Uber. He's at 99%. He pops right away onto Samsey, and they're going to come in, and if you're Miralin right now, you're running the hell out of there.
Yeah, they should be able to hold it here with the Zebasai Miralin combo, but they seem to be just moving in a little bit too far, and they've strayed into War's sticky path.
There was a little distraction play there, which was Stark, the scout, behind, sort of drawing the attention of the blue Uber, which was great, because I think that blue Uber, they wanted to flush out that Z area and that garage, or that secondary, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, this is a very messy
BFF
push out
squad
by Rocket. A very messy push out, which they haven't managed to make the best of, and Miralin's got the Uber now as they push in 6v4, and surely this must be another round for BFF, as they focus on the frags. And it's only Admirable and Cookie that stay alive, as the 4 players from BFF are swarming onto the point.
Ubersaw is out.
The second round for BFF. A really hotly contested second point there, but it eventually went BFF's way with some nice work from Zebasai and Cadis, with Miralin staying alive more often than not.
And I would call this aggressiveness on the side of BFF so far. I think that the fact that they were always on the offensive just then, that made a big difference. But we've got Cadis now going to try Cats again on his rollout. We'll see how it turns out. And again, these demos kind of swapping positions on mids. Cadis had the height advantage. He's going to drop down. Nobody down yet. And War went low as well on his rollout.
And it seems like both of the teams have swapped sides here. We see a big bomb in, and a rush from Clockwork as well, who manages to pick up War and Admirable. But on the other side, Clockwork and Samsey going huge along with QNX, and they manage to wipe the whole of the BFF team.
Samsey with that last pick, getting Zebasai, and another mid here won from the Rocket Squad. And the Rocket Squad, who were the underdogs by most accounts coming into this, they've done all right on these mids. But let's see now if they can finish it. They're going to finish this cap on mid. I think what we've seen so far is that, I don't know, maybe their aggressiveness, it's been almost too much, or they've played maybe, you know, they've been aggressive when they shouldn't have been at times. We saw in that defense, they just kind of bled out.
Yeah, definitely. Rocket seem to be pushing out in some situations where they shouldn't be. But the aggression on mids from, especially from Clockwork and, sorry, not from Clockwork, from Cookie and QNX really helped them win that mid.
We can talk about Clockwork because right now he's got 26 points with a 100 ping, which to me is very impressive. I've played on 100 and 110 ping.
The crits comes in. Sorry to interrupt you there. The crits from War as Admirable pops it off, and they get caught by Cadis sticky trap, unfortunately, and get absolutely nothing done. And this just lets the BFF team with their Uber charge push in. And surely this is going to be them pushed all the way back, possibly to last if they manage to save this Uber.
So we've got a misplay by this Rocket team, going crits and getting nothing on it. Demo Man just respawning now. What do you think of this misplay? I think that Rocket were in a great position to do something after they picked up that mid, but here they are now backing up almost to their own last.
Yeah, War really couldn't get anything done with that crit streak, and if that had worked out well, it would have been an amazing play, but unfortunately they just haven't got anything done with it. And actually, Admirable is still running crits on defense as the Uber comes in.
Oh, he pops it again, but he's running, oh my god, nowhere to go is Admirable.
A very questionable decision running crits on defense like that, but
I think he was almost taken by surprise because BFF swarmed. Second wasn't even capped, and they were just swarming above. They came in through both windows and just unbelievable pressure and aggressiveness. We got a partial cap already on, and this is going to be it, looks like.
Yeah, and this is the 3-0 from BFF here. You know, the middles haven't been so dominant. We've seen 2-all, has it been? Oh no, 2 of the mids have been taken by Rocket, and only one of them taken by BFF, but BFF have just managed to smash them on all of the Uber v Uber situations, and Clockwork obviously pulling his weight as well.
Yeah, watching War now on this rollout, he's going to go Cats again and see what he can take, and down below we've got Cadis who went low as well. I think Cadis realizes he can put out the damage he needs to without necessarily taking height advantage. That's what he's been doing on these mids. So far though, War at 64, and he's got a Soldier in on him. Soldier on the pack. Admirable's down already on this mid, as is Samsey. Down goes Miralin as well though, and that's Hawks taking out Miralin. So now it's a DM fest. We've got Starkey still with an overheal, but looks like this mid is going to go to BFF, and
yeah, and it's just War stuck behind at the moment, and he's managed to pick up the health, but he's not going to get anything done, really. War should just be killed by the here, because he's got such... Yeah, and he goes down so late, and that's going to put them in such a bad position for defending last. He's not going to respawn for the second hold, they're not going to be able to hold second, and he might not even respawn for last, depending on how aggressive BFF are here.
And I just want to make people aware here that there is a crits watch on, and it's not Rocket this time, it's BFF, who've switched over to maybe a surprise attempt here with the crits. They're going to beat... they're going to beat Admirable there, if they both stay alive, you know. But the crits, it's an interesting choice. I don't think that Rocket's going to expect it. We've got Miralin just kind of staying behind, sort of, you know, trying to hide those yellow sparkles, but let's see what they do with it. Marvel gets his Uber. Oh, but they haven't popped off. Are they going to get anything? Nothing on the crits at all, and that's failed crits on the side of BFF. I've got to wonder, is that going to be sort of a turning point, I'm wondering?
It could well be. It looks like Cadis and Clockwork are sat out here in yard waiting for some kind of pick, but unfortunately he gets seen and Cadis goes down, and this is going to cue the mid push for... Clockwork still manages to trade. He's just got such incredible DM, that kid. But it looks like they're going to be able to take the mid here fairly well, and Admirable's going to have the Uber advantage for pushing second as well.
One thing I've noticed is that Rocket have been slower when it comes to acting on advantages. BFF have been acting right away, and in fact it's immediate. They don't wait around, they don't stand around, they go right away, and Rocket's been a little slower with that. They had a player behind just then at last, and they kind of just sat around at second for a little too long. They're going to really depend on this Uber here now, and that Uber is allowing them to be aggressive. In comes the jump. Made a bomb in, that was Knudsen, that didn't work, but into second now using...
And they really need to get the pick on Miralin here with this Uber. He's on 100 health and he seems to be dodging around. But he's got 90% now, and unless they get the pick on him, he's going to have the Uber advantage. And he gets the Uber, but it's only him and Zebasai alive. They're going to have to pop here, and they're going to try and block the second cap as they get some spawns in.
I've been noticing Hawks not playing all the time necessarily with his medic Admirable, who actually just went down. Hawks, a bit of a lone wolf. He's the pocket soldier, but he's been doing his own thing a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's quite a big difference actually from the way that Hawks has previously played, and I for one didn't think that Hawks would be able to change his game style like that, but he's always previously played very much on a tether, very close to the medic, not jumping at all. And in this team, he seems to be, you know, really adapting to a kind of less heals, with War getting much more War playing more of a pocket style.
Right.
And we saw both of the medics exchange there, and Admirable coming out with a slight Uber advantage, but it looks like BFF have really played aggressively, got a bit more damage out, and have managed to cap the second point off.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You know, we had the Rocket team sitting there for how long? Just sitting around second, waiting. And I've got
my goodness.
Wow, lots
Clockwork
of
is
all around.
destroying. Clockwork just jumping in all around Hawks and QNX, and manages to pick them both without really taking any damage at all. Clock is just absolutely destroying these guys. EU who?
I've got to stay on the Clockwork cam. We actually have some off-classing now. We have a bit of shenanigans. We've got Samsey on Sniper. And just seeing if he can pick something out. But yeah, Clockwork absolutely, he's second on the scoreboard by a lot on his team with his 100 ping. It's crazy. I mean, maybe Flip could have played with his ducklings. You know, ping maybe not an issue for anyone on this team.
I think really Clockwork outclasses Flip by quite a way. I think the it really is an upgrade here. It was slightly optimistic of of Rocket to think that they could allow anybody as a merc and it wouldn't make too much difference.
I think they've learned their lesson as in they come. Scouts coming in last. The Uber's on the Soldier. We've seen BFF dominate all of these last encounters, and there they go, 4-0.
Really dominating performance here by BFF. Not how I expected it to be dominating. The Scouts and Soldiers really making a big difference, especially in the Uber fights. But the mid fights generally being quite close.
I'm watching Clockwork on this mid, I was going to say, because I think he's just feeling so good now. He's going to have killer instinct, but we'll see how the mid plays out.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at Clockwork as well. Now that you've mentioned it, I really want to see how he manages to hit the meat. It looks like they're both playing quite a passive middle as Clockwork now goes in and takes down.
Going for the mid.
Yeah, manages to get huge
dominating
damages.
Admirable. He's dominating him. Yeah, dominating the mid, and so Clockwork's still up. He's got 91. He's just laughing right now, going for it. Picks up the pistol kill. Gets Samsy. Looks like he might. He doesn't get the pack, but he's going to look for that Soldier as well. Holy cow.
Ridiculous play by the BFF Scouts, and it looks like as well that they're really not getting pressured enough. The Rocket team are focusing Cadis to the detriment of their team because the Scouts are just running riot here. Cadis kind of baiting himself so that the Scouts have much more room to play with.
The Euro Killer. Now I'm wondering.
Oh my goodness! If anybody was watching Clockwork there, he just completely danced around War Stickies, didn't take a single point of damage, and managed to take him down in 3 shots.
That's demeaning.
Incredible.
That's got to be tough. If you're War right now, you've got to be feeling down in the dumps. You're
really
a Demo
do.
Man, the most, with some pace here, the most overpowered class in the game. You have 1 million ammo, and it didn't matter. Clockwork danced in as Clockwork picks out Hawks as well. I mean, this has been a wrecking crew kind of match for BFF, who have been just dominant.
And it looks like this could be the end for Rocket's hopes as Cadis gets on the point and they cap it off.
Wow.
5-0. That's an incredibly dominating performance in, how long was it? 20 minutes as well. I mean, you can't get much more of a roll than that. I wasn't expecting Rocket to put up such little of a fight. Let's see if the logs offer any insight into how that really went down.
Yeah, and Admirable predicted a 5-0, and he was right. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't in favor of his team. It was for BFF who pulled it off.
Yeah, I'm looking at the damage now. We see War at the top of the damage. It's kind of to be expected because Cadis was taking so much attention for his team that he's not going to be able to put out those huge damage numbers. And then we see Zebasai playing very well. He's almost at the top of the kills. But, I mean, right at the top of the kills with the highest KD and a really considerable amount of damage as well is Clockwork there with 28 for 12.
Frags.
28 frags in a 20-minute game is just really incredible.
That is pretty unbelievable.
And I think if we're going to call any particular players out, I don't know whether that would really be fair because it was so much of a role that no single players are responsible for that. But QNX and Hawks sitting down there at 12 for 18 and 12 for 19 respectively, putting out fairly decent damage numbers. But I mean, it is a soldier-oriented map, and they were just getting eaten up by the BFF Scouts.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Starkey, who's maybe being overshadowed here a little bit. But Stark played a fantastic game in a support role as Scout, and he was doing a lot of good Scout things as well. Some good sort of distractions and getting in behind and just being a little pest. Not fragging like Clockwork, but I think he did a whole lot for his team that we may not have necessarily seen. People look
Stark's
for kills, but they don't look for the support stuff.
Yeah, Stark's always a very consistent player. He never turns up with a bad game. He always puts out a lot of kills, a lot of cleanup work for very few deaths. He's a great attribute for BFF there.
I mean, I've got to say as well, on the side of Rocket, I mean, they were no slouches either. I mean, I'm looking at players like QNX and War, who did their share of killing. They took out the medics 3 times, or they took out the medic 3 times each. They were doing it, and you mentioned War, who put out so much damage. But I think as a team, BFF, I mean, my goodness. I'm not putting it on one player because the whole team moved like a unit. They didn't wait. They didn't stand around. They knew what they were doing at all times. They were aggressive. They pressured all the time. And I didn't see that as much from Rocket. I saw a Rocket team that's maybe still getting used to playing together as a six-man team, as we talked about
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It definitely wasn't a carry from Clockwork. I mean, he played incredibly, but it wasn't like he was carrying a bad team or anything.
No.
The BFF team really just completely outplayed Rocket with the speed in which they would move off any advantage and the aggressiveness whenever they knew that they had an advantage. They And then the DM as well. I mean, in the situations where they possibly didn't have an advantage or they were playing on even footing, they just completely wrecked them as well. In Uber v Uber fights, Zebasai's playing incredibly and Clockwork just getting the key picks at key times. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a real masterclass by BFF there.
Yeah, Sideshow, I think that whether they had Ips on Scout or Clockwork or, anyone, me, Flip, anyone, doesn't matter. I think that as a team, they would have pulled that off on Granary the same way. I don't think it's on any person.
I wouldn't quite go as far as to say that if they had me on Scout, they would have quite pulled off the same performance. But
Well, hey,
definitely,
you've played an ETF2L, and you play currently, I believe, right? I've never played an ETF2L.
Yeah, but not a Scout. I am quite renowned for being an incredibly bad Scout.